Hello, I'm Crickets and welcome back to I Have a Story. In today's story, there's so much to add to the other stories that I've already told, and I try to keep these videos short and not talk about it all, and I try to keep on track, and I struggle with that, especially when I'm struggling with my emotions. It's so easy to steer in different directions and not stay on track and focused with the topic that I'm talking about. But I've made a video and talked about where she claims that in court that I'm severely psychotic because I have PTSD from when I was kidnapped and tortured and beaten and when that took place. But here again, I made a video talking about if I had severe PTSD, wouldn't I have pulled the trigger? But then the more I make these videos, the more I think about it, and the more people poke at me, the more I got to think about what's happening. Well, something else that came to my realization. If I was severely crazy and had PTSD over that incident when it immediately happened, would I have ever even gone back to the house that it happened at, which wasn't my house? And when I get to the story itself of that night, but I have to talk about things that led up to that first before I can talk about that specific night of when I was kidnapped and tortured and beaten for the entire night. And there's honestly more painful things to that to me than what even just happened to me that night. There was a 3-year-old boy, and I'm going to make a video about him very soon. If not my next video, maybe I'll make that next. Because there's a lot to that story. But I can make a short video on that. And I'm don't mean to make teasers of leading up to that event, but there's a lot to talk about. So the house that I was kidnapped and tortured from was her house. It wasn't mine. I didn't even live there. I started staying there because she was being threatened. I had my own place, but there were things going on at my house that caused a lot of problems, and there's doubled why I was staying at her house. And again, I have to get to these stories, and again, that's going to be what leads up to where the event all took place. But I could have gone back to the house that was still mine. I could have gone and stayed with a friend. I could have stayed at a bunch of different places. Hell, I lived on the streets when I was a teenager sleeping on concrete. With somebody who has severe PTSD, I can definitely say there's severe something. Go back to that house from the hospital after being hospitalized, after being kidnapped, tortured, and beaten for an entire night. Have my body dumped and left for dead. My ear cut off my head, my throat slit. Would I get out of the hospital and go back straight to the house that all that happened at? A place that's, 40, 45 minutes away from the city I lived in and my house and my family and my friends? A place where I had nobody and went back to that by myself. That's completely provable because when I told the story about the guy trying to climb through the bedroom window, it was at that house. The house that I did not pull the trigger was at that house. This is all on, obviously, police records. So if I was so PTSD, severe stricken, fear ridden over being kidnapped and tortured and beaten, why would I go back to that house? Well, to tell you the truth, the answer is one, she was leaving and taking off, and I was going to keep the house and move into it by myself, and I wanted to be strong and still think that I could, even after the day I got out of the hospital, thinking I could do this. I'm going to keep surviving on my own. I'm going to keep taking care of myself. It took me, it wasn't until January of the following year I finally realized, and it hit me. This is one I'm not bouncing back from. I've bounced back from so much of my life, so many car accidents, falling 2 stories, getting hit by a car, so many beatings, so much of my life I've bounced back from, and finally the one that I couldn't. I lost my man card there too. I've lost my man card many times, but I don't know, because I'm still standing here as a man fighting. Do I have emotion? Am I sad? Oh, of course. But I'm still standing here fighting. I didn't go run and hide underneath a rock. I want to be that rock. So, it's provable I went back to that house. It's a lot of witnesses I had a lot of places to go. I still went back because I wanted to know what happened. And I found out what happened was actually much deeper than what was just on the surface. And even the district attorney called me and said, hey, this goes a lot deeper. You need to be careful. What are you doing back at that house? Trying to be a man and survive and find out what happened.